If Indiana University doesn't hire Chris Beard, they don't care about winning. And that is a fact. Jack, he is the best candidate for the job. We're going to talk more about what Rick Pitino has said, what it all means, and you're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be an explosive episode. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
Number 3 on the way.
Hello guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. Pardon my voice, I am have the flu right now, but I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. We're gonna get deep and dirty into a lot of just the stigma, the bullcrap, the stuff that surrounds us in society, and the judgmentalness that's coming out of so many people's mouths surrounding Indiana University. The reporters, are they a bunch of libs? I don't know. I think they are, because if you look at statistics, 95% of the people that go into this profession are super liberal. So it is what it is. You can take what I say with a grain of salt, but I'm going to tell you something on this show today. I'm going to be genuine, upfront, and I'm going to tell you the truth about all of this stuff. We're going to get deep into it. But first, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you for joining the channel, and hit that thumbs up button. It helps get the video out to more people, Hoosier fans across the country and across the globe. And you're gonna want to share this episode, because we're gonna talk also about the petition that I have with Chris Beard, that he is given an equal shot. Just like you and me and every single one of us should be given an equal shot at everything. Not an equitable shot, an equal shot. Isn't that right, Hillbilly Monkey?
Oh man, yeah, how they come in there and they flipped the script on those two words real quick and acted like nobody would even tell the difference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But hit that bell notification and you'll know every time I go live. This is Indiana Sports Connection, and the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 to save 125% on your first 3 deposits. Be responsible when you're gambling out there, people. Thank you so much for everybody that's getting skin in the game on there. And 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without the veterans, we are nothing. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, Hillbilly Monkey. I woke up in the middle of the night last night, and I was watching more stuff about Chris Beard, and I'm trying to find articles and different things that would really tell me the truth about this guy. Is he the alcoholic piece of shit guy that everybody out there in the media is trying to make him out to be? I'm going to just let you judge for yourself. I got a few articles I'm going to pull up. We're going to talk about what Rick Pitino said on that show. We're going to talk about why Indiana doesn't give a shit about winning basketball if they don't hire Chris Beard. And I'm not saying that another candidate couldn't work out or wouldn't be able to do the job, but the bottom line is I can just see through the looking glass. You can see all the powers that be he's not even up for consideration. It's absolute fucking bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. People should not be treated this way in their lives. People should not be judged this way. He who shall not judge cast the first stone, right? Or something like that. We all got to live by that every day. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a holier than thou guy. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm man enough to sit here today and say, yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes. All you can do is every day try to get better, try to dedicate your life to your family, to, the prosperity of your family. And, that's what I'm dedicated to every day. But I'm going to tell you, it's really, really hard to raise kids and do all this stuff in this world. But first off, let's get into the clip of Rick Pitino and what he had to say, because nobody paid him to do this. Nobody told him to do this. And before he said it, he said, this is going to have a lot of people really mad at me. Who's that? The people at Indiana? I don't know who. The people at St. John's, maybe. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip of Petino.
Can I give you my pick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have some people upset at me. If I was the AD at Indiana, and am I friendly with this person? Yes, I am. Do I have a lot of respect for this person? Yes, I do. But I would immediately not even interview anybody else and hire one of the premier coaches in all of college basketball, and that's Chris Beard from Ole Miss. I wouldn't even think about another person. He's perfect for that job. He's a tough, hard-nosed. The years I was sitting out, I got friendly with him because he asked me to. He didn't know me, I didn't know him, to come out and speak to his team. He was at Texas Tech, and I went out and spoke to him. But I watched 2 days of practice, and I always judge a coach by his practices. And I have to tell you that those are some of the best practices and meetings with his team that I've ever witnessed. So now, I am a gigantic fan of Chris Beard, and I think he would kill it at Indiana. He'd have him in the top 5 to 7 every single year. Remember, he brought Texas Tech to the championship game and could have won it if that young man didn't hit that from Virginia, that corner shot, great shot that he did hit. So he's a superstar, top 3 coach in my estimation. I would never hire myself for that job.
Okay.
Look, Scott Dolson, if you're listening out there, you don't know. You know about as much about basketball as Rick Pitino has forgotten. Thank you, Bob Nyquil. If you were going to make an assessment on who is the best coach to hire, and yeah, he admitted he got friendly with him. The bottom line is, I mean, who do we have in there now? We have a horse's ass of a man that's drugged this entire institution through the mud. For what reason? For what reason? And Scott Dolson was not even able to make the real decision. Have the balls to hire Chris Beard, Scott Dolson. That's all there is to it. You got to make the best hire. You got to get this right. And I'm going to tell you, I got people watching this show that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Not as many young people watch this show because they don't believe in any of these things. They don't. They want to believe that. I've read the police report over and over again, and it's not that I think I just want to believe what I want to believe. I just think it's a bunch of he said, she said. Okay, you can look, Hillbilly Monkey, pull that up. You can look at Randy True's Instagram, and when you see something posted on there like this with Oprah and Meghan Markle, it's like you can see there's some virtue signaling involved. I know a lot of people went through a lot of hard times during COVID. It flipped a lot of people. A lot of people let the media get in between them and their family. A lot of people let the media and government get in between them and their own families. I think that's atrocious. And it caused a lot of heartache, a lot of things for a lot of different people. I don't want to get into the weeds too much on this, but I just think if somebody did something during the time, these hard times, as long as you're able to go to the interview, look Scott Dolson in the eye and say, look, this is what really happened. I'm a work in progress. I'm always trying to be better and better every single day. And that's what I dedicate my life to.
The biggest fear in life is what? Just not putting our guys in position for the next game to be successful. Really? I think fear is a great motivator. I think anybody that says, hey, I'm tough, I don't fear anything, doesn't understand how to compete. I think, like Mike Tyson said it best. He said there's a certain fear. Every time he gets in the ring, he's scared to death what the other guy could do to him. But then when the competition starts, his preparation kicks in, his confidence. But there's no doubt about it. Fear is one of the best motivators. And I'm scared to death that we won't be able to score a basket against Kentucky. I'm scared that we won't be able to get a stop, but that's kind of what fuels you.
If a man can do that, he deserves a second chance. That's all there is to it. Who are we to judge? The one thing that I think is crazy that people who don't go to church, how they judge people who do go to church, is that they think that people that go to church are the judgmental ones. It's the exact opposite. The people that go to church are the ones that are repenting. That's what I would care about with Chris Beard. I've heard him in his clinics and different things where he talks about God a lot and stuff like that. And I find that very refreshing. But there is a fraction of people out there, the fraction of people in the media that hate that. That's what I'm trying to prove to all of you. It's like they hate it. The people, and I'm not going to name names of all these media members that don't want Chris Beard and they just want to report bullshit from the inside like they know something. They don't want Chris Beard because he's a country guy, because he's a religious guy, because he's a patriotic guy, because he's a man's man. They don't want that.
What does Chris Beard want? What's the highest maintenance thing about dealing with Chris Beard?
He just wants your best. He wants everybody's best. each and every day, and because he knows that's what he's giving. That's what he knows. That's what the young men on this team are giving. They're giving their best every day, and he expects that from everybody around him. And that's what you want. You want coaches who.
What society wants to do to you and me and everybody these days is feminize all of us. We don't give a shit about, you know why sports were invented to begin with? It was to prepare people for war. It was like to see, there was a long time in between the Civil War and the early 1900s. People could see that a lot of people were getting soft even in that time.
Wow.
It said, we need something to keep people strong, up to date. That's why like sports and the military and all that stuff is so tied in. But you got these pussy ass motherfucking reporters out there saying whatever they want. And pardon my language, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it to you any other way. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. I see it everywhere. It makes for an awful, awful life to raise your kids in, to raise your family in, and it does. Let's take a look, because I was trying to get deep into seeing what some of the headlines that people were talking about Chris Beard, and actually if any of them really made any sense or not. And I kind of like found two sides to a coin on every single story I found. One of the first stories is on Outkick, which I really like, but you know, I can tell they printed this for clickbait, and maybe, you know, at this time they didn't really know exactly what they were doing. But I do love Outkick. But it's Texas basketball coach Chris Beard is once again drinking beer. Now, that's not exactly what he said, because I saw the actual quote, and this is how men are misquoted in the media and made out to be bad guys and things like that.
It's just everywhere.
But if you want the truth, you can tune into Indiana Sports Connection. I'm not going to feed you piles of bullshit like a lot of the people over at the Assembly Call and a lot of the other places are, because I'm not controlled by anybody. It's just me, the hillbilly monkey, and all my freaking weirdo friends in here. Now, the quote from Chris Beard, so his team all made sacrifices at the beginning of the season, and one of the sacrifices he said that he made was not drinking beer. And then at the end of the season, he was quoted as saying, we lost games. It was just clear that it wasn't all just not drinking beer that was going to make the team better. There were other factors at play, which, no doubt, it's just a smart comment from a coach, and they make it out to be, oh, he's back on the wagon drinking again. That's what everybody in this society is trying to do to us. I'm sorry, but if this is speaking to you, thank you for joining. Leave your comments down below. Join the conversation, because there is a bigger conversation to be had about all this stuff, how we judge people, and I just think it's despicable. We've created a hellish world to live in for everybody. Men, women, everybody involved. Here's another article that popped up on Google, and it says, a seemingly drunk Chris Beard ruins Texas Tech fans' Christmas. And then you can find the video. Let's play just like a clip of the video here. Hillbilly monkey.
It's truth telling. You don't go from last to first in the Big 12 lying, you know. I understand what you're doing for Brennan here. I mean, I understand, but like, come on, dude. Like, what kind of morals is kid gonna grow up with, knowing that, you know, like, you can't forge signatures, dude. Like, all you have to do is come out of your office and I'm just signing it.
So he's clearly making a joke. He's clearly had some drinks, isn't it, at a bar, and he's clearly holding a basketball. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's in Chris Beard's heart. I've not talked to him. All I can say is, like, I've watched a lot of his speeches. I've watched a lot of the stuff he's said, and I take the man for his word that he has made mistakes and that he's always trying to get better, just like each and every one of us are trying to do. Am I right, or am I right? That article has an explosive headline, and then when you read down through it, it was actually one of the assistant coaches who, like, wanted a signed basketball by him, and he was just making a joke like, oh, why'd you want the signed basketball? It was like something like that, but they make the headline was made out to really be in a sinister, not like truthful type of way, which... Look deeper into it, people. I know these reporters that work at IU, their brains must only have like a mantle that's that thick, because to get down into that, you got to look deeper. You do got to look deeper into the real human being. Like you, like me, like all of us. We're all a work in progress. That's my point of all of this. All right, now I want to get into the petition that I wrote up, and I'm going to have it in the link in the description down below if you want to sign the petition. And it's not to hire Chris Beard as the coach. It's that he's given an equal opportunity as everybody else, right? Just like Forrest Gump. That's my favorite movie.
But my boy Forrest is going to get the same opportunities as everyone else. He's not going to some special school to learn how to retread tires.
Oh, yeah, they told him he was going to retread tires or something, right?
Right. He should be given the equal opportunity as everybody else. He doesn't need to be retread tires or something like that. I am a steadfast Indiana Hoosiers fan and the operator of Indiana Sports Connection. I represent a large portion of Indiana's ardent fans, all yearning for change. For too long now, we have watched our beloved team endure losing streak after losing streak, and our patience is wearing thin. This thin, right? Despite a single mistake in his past, we stand firm on our belief as fans, as supporters, that aren't here to judge Beard's past. We emphatically, trying to get through these words, look unto his potential future with our Hoosiers. Beard's coaching track record speaks for itself. His expertise has led to subsequent improvements and victories in the teams he has led. We believe with Beard at the helm, we can once again transform Indiana Hoosier basketball into the winning team that fans long for. Our advocacy doesn't demand a blind acceptance, but rather a fair consideration for Chris Beard as the next coach of Indiana. Remember, everyone deserves a second chance, and this could be the catalyst for the return to Indiana basketball back to its glory days. Look, I'm not asking you to just take a blind look at Chris Beard and say, oh, wash all of his sins away. I'm saying he needs an equal opportunity as everybody else. And that's all there is to it. That's all I'm asking for. That's what you want. That's what I want in this world. And that's what everybody wants. And stop glazing over everything with this, feminized look at everything. Because if we're too fearful, if we're too much in fear to hire Chris Beard, then we just don't give a fuck about winning anymore. That's it. Nobody got all those banners by sleeping in, eating pancakes and eating cupcakes and living in a comfortable fucking world. Okay? We got those banners because we're gritty ass fucking determined motherfuckers that wanted to. This is what we're all about. Like from the very beginning. Okay? Oh, hillbilly monkey. I'm sick and I can't even talk anymore. And maybe the flu medicine is going to my head. But what do you think about Chris Beard? And I know you're an old timer. Tell me about it.
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey land that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection. There's no doubt that he's the guy. I mean, you just look at his track record, you look at what Pitino said, you look at everything, you look at it overall, and then you look at the charges and all the stuff, the bullshit that was said that night between him and her. And he told the police that he had her on recording and that he could prove to them, but I know why he didn't do it. There ain't nobody who's a man's man who's gonna turn a woman in. A man who is a man is always going to take the fault right on himself, and he's going to die on the sword for his woman. And for that, we don't know what happened that night, and we're not here to judge. And I think it's just bullshit that all of these Indiana fans think that they're holier than thou, they're above this. And we used to have a coach that jacked a guy in the face and did some questionable things, but you know what? It was our thing, and we love that shit from the very beginning, Dan, and let's just bring it back. And I'm not saying it's got to be all about that, but I'm just saying acceptance is the word of the day.
That's right. I mean, that's all I wish for in life, is that people are accepting. I've made crap loads of mistakes. I don't want to make this video about me, but everybody has. And I think if you're looking through the same mirror that I look in every day, which has my face in it, I know that the only person that walked this earth, that died for our sins, and everything like that was Jesus Christ. And that's who I hold in my heart every day. And that's what helps me get through all of this stuff and be independent and at least have some faith that things in the world are going to get better without getting too deep into the woods. But, thank you for joining me today. This was definitely an explosive episode because I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And I'm sick of these reporters and these different people at these organizations that are just talking shit and acting like this guy has no chance to get the job because of all of just these bullshit fucking reasons. And they can't provide any proof. They can't provide any proof. They may fabricate the truth. They're going to fabricate some truth and they're going to tell you that. But that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.